Shall we call meeting to order? And this meeting will be audio and video recorded. Roll call, please, Laura.
Sure. Councillor Dobbs.
Here.
Councillor Perry.
Here.
Councillor Moulton.
Here.
Member Cutler.
Here.
And of course, Member Moses hasn't arrived yet, if she's coming.
Sounds good. And no members of the public? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So it looks like the minutes are not quite ready. We're not quite ready. Is that correct? Okay, that's fine.
Correct.
Okay, no problem. So we could just move on to the next agenda item, to review the miscellaneous referrals and comments from public forum to make sure that all issues raised were addressed. And I have my window open. Oh, Councilor Moulton.
Yes, before we proceed on to that, could I just be reminded, at some point, I think midway through our process, we had decided on 3 categories for our referrals to the city council. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly? One was specific recommendations, and can you remind me, Laura, remind us what the other 2 were?
Oh boy. I know recommended for further study and okay. Not recommended for adoption.
Not recommended.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Molly is almost here. She just had the wrong link.
Okay, thank you, Dane. Here she is. Oh, yep. Looks like she's coming in. And Councilor Moulton, were you referring to the something that shouldn't, that maybe an extra category that might be there? Like there?
No.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to be sure that we were all in agreement on the 3 buckets as we go through these, as we review the various referrals.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying. All right. Well, so I guess let's see. So should we just go through them one by one, I guess? Starting with Alex Bowman's suggestions.
Are you looking at the miscellaneous referral sheet?
Oh, is that what yes, that's what I was looking at. I think that's what I'm looking at. Should we share the screen? Oh, that might be easier. Sorry, it didn't occur to me.
Can do that. 1
Yeah.
second. Getting there. Let's see, share.
Hi, Molly.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey,
Good.
Molly.
Good. I'll say on public record that I'm pregnant.
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness, how
Congratulations.
exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's
Oh,
Is this your first?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
wow.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I forgot about the AI recording. I guess that'll be not just the people here, but whatever.
Entered into the record
Oh gosh.
for posterity and eternity.
Maybe the record could just say like Molly Moses shared a bit of personal news. Alan Seawald, is that acceptable?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to just laugh at that. Yeah, yes, that sounds good to
It
me.
doesn't have to say anything at all.
That's true. We don't have to do an AI at all. So, we can adjust.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. At least my therapy clients know already. All right.
Okay, so first we got the sweeping of the sidewalks abutting business premises, recommends review of 285-18, an addition of ordinance requiring property owners to keep sidewalks clear of vegetation. It's true that we did not talk too much about that.
It does feel very in line with sidewalk clearing in general.
It does, and I would agree with, if we wanted to recommend an ordinance for that, I would agree with that.
And I think what I would say for that, if we have an ordinance, and is to specify clear vegetation up to a certain height, to allow for people to pass. I don't know if that would be like 6.5 feet or something, because there are types of trees and bushes that might arch over that are not an issue. But
Right.
we also need to specify it's not just the 3 inches from the ground that are relevant to mobility.
Definitely. Well, so yeah, I guess I'm curious about the process, how we want to, should we take a vote on this one? Or are we just kind of going through each one and having a conversation?
Does
Or how do you,
anybody object to the idea that sidewalk clearing should include vegetation in principle?
like, you mean when we're talking about snow also, like
Yeah.
mention, yeah, definitely, I agree. Personally, I mean, I would agree with that, but I'd like to hear from other people too.
Well,
Anyone? Yep.
well, I'm.
Sorry, I couldn't see your hand because, yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I've kind of been connecting the two throughout this whole committee, just saying they felt like they are together, so it makes sense. My question for, I guess, is kind of a process question as well. Are we looking to see if we've missed something? Is that the point of this exercise, or?
Sharing so I can see people's faces.
I guess maybe just going, like we talked about, just going through to make sure, I guess, make sure we didn't miss anything, I guess is, yes, I think that is the point.
Okay.
But
So-
do you agree with that, or do you?
Okay.
Okay, does that sound good to you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so as we go through each one, I guess, like, I'm curious what you guys think should be the thing that we, like, that resolves that part of the conversation, like a vote, or just us agreeing casually, you know what I mean?
I think a quick vote works. You know, we're adding this to the list of things we are going to write up in our final report.
Okay. Well, okay, would there be a motion maybe to then add vegetation obstruction to the discussion about snow removal and make that, one discussion? Sorry, Laura, go ahead.
Would it be easier to take a vote of anything we're not adding rather than taking individual votes? If we're adding the majority?
Yeah, maybe you're right there. Okay.
I'm just thinking of myself. I'm being selfish and thinking of recording the votes. And
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, no, yeah, thank you for saying that, yeah. So yeah, let's maybe go back to sharing.
sure.
I
The
move
one-
to make less work for Laura.
Yes, I second that.
Do we need, just in terms of how our process goes, is this the point where we need to delegate who's going to draft potential languaging for each of these?
I guess I'm thinking maybe that'll be in the next agenda item.
Great,
Yeah, where we talk about the process of the final report.
wonderful, thank you.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so crossing roadways, these are considered for removal. The next three are removal considerations, which I personally am okay with.
I'm down with all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Does anyone want to keep hitchhiking an ordinance offense?
No.
Cool.
No, thank you. Okay, so hearing no disagreements. Oh, sorry, Council Perry.
No. I'm just sorry. I'm just looking over them,
Yep.
all of them, and
Excuse me. So are you guys saying that you actually want to recommend removing these in the final report? Is that what's being
Yes.
suggested?
If
I I remember someone saying that they wanted to consult with the police chief if they were going to be removing any of the pedestrian or changing any of the ordinances related to pedestrian crossings back when we were discussing it.
Yeah,
So-
this, for instance, I'm looking at 31282. Is that one that you brought up?
Yep,
yes.
thumbing, yep.
Crossing roadways. Yeah, I mean, I'd like some input if we were going to remove that.
Right, you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah. So, could we maybe maybe we could reach out? You said you wanted to hear from the chief of police, is that correct? So maybe we could, reach out to the Chief Cutledge, before the next time we discuss this?
I'll see him tomorrow,
Oh, okay,
9 a.m. for police recruit. So I will mention it.
okay, great.
But I also want to remind everyone that we are this much time.
Right. Which makes me wonder if we're still at the point of we need to find out more information and hear from more people, then we need to decide that that is not going to be on this ordinance committee's agenda.
Yeah.
So like, if we are not in agreement and if there is, you know, somebody going, hey, we need more information about this, then I think it needs to just be off our list. Because we
Okay.
have done the finding more information and the consulting with more people part, and we're out of time.
Could we have a possible separate list of things that someone should look into in the future that we're not able to look into right now?
I believe that was one of the lists.
Okay, wonderful.
Awesome.
Yes, further study. But since Councilor Perry is going to meet with the police chief on other business tomorrow, I'm comfortable having him run.
Yeah.
Were you going to run all three of these by Chief Cartledge?
I feel if that's acceptable for everyone.
I feel that's acceptable, and you can report back to us whether if he's comfortable with it or whether he feels that a wider review needs to be done.
Okay, I will take that upon myself.
Great,
Thank you.
yeah, so we might, yeah, so maybe we will get a response.
Because there's nobody's going to have to draft language for these, I am okay with that. If we're literally just adding things to a list and saying, strike this.
Okay. Great, so, yeah, we can move on from there for now. Update ordinance to replace he and she with gender neutral they. That was Ace Taylor's suggestion. And, sorry, can someone remind me, I know we have talked about this at some point, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the rule already exists. Like, it is already practice that we use they instead of he or she. Ace just went through the trouble of looking for all the places it hadn't been updated and making us a list of all the places it hadn't been updated. So all we have to do is say, yes, take that list and make the updates.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's pretty good.
that sounds good to me.
Yep, and I had taken on that I'm going to look at the list that they provided and make sure that it was not a subset, but just the comprehensive.
Okay, great. So thank you, Molly.
Yep.
Okay, and then the next one, consider removal is just kind of a repeat of.
Excuse
Right.
me. I
Yeah.
don't remember, Ace didn't have any kind of comprehensive list. He gave an example, didn't he? Didn't you say
Hey.
that a cursory search had yielded a few and gave those? So I'm just a little confused.
Yes.
Is Molly still providing a list or?
Yes, I
of,
will. Right. I will provide a list. I'm seeing in their email that they did write. I am certain there are others. So I will do the comprehensive search.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So the next consider for removal is, we already talked about that. The next one is phase out gas powered leaf blowers. I remember that being mentioned at the public forum.
Yes, and that was a hope of mine, but time has not allowed us to deal with that. I would put that in the further study for the next city council bucket.
Okay.
I also feel quite strongly about it. So it would be, we could say, perhaps, I don't know if we can use language of we strongly suggest that this be taken up on the sooner side, or that it is the council's like recommendation or encouragement I mean, it's the committee's
committee, yeah.
strong encouragement, but for the details to be established by the city council.
I like that. Any other thoughts, Council Perry?
No, so we're moving that one from, it was inactionable before, moving it to further study, correct?
Yes, further study.
Perfect. Just for my notes.
Thank you.
Further study versus just the drafting of the languaging needs to happen.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yes,
if I may.
of course.
Sounds like there's consensus in favor of this. I don't want you to feel constrained about recommending changes that aren't drafted. And, you know, there's going to be a whole process after you guys at the city council through the committees, and that drafting can be done then. If this is something you're recommending, I wouldn't put it into future study just because you haven't actually drafted the language.
Oh,
Well, what are you suggesting, Attorney Seawald, then?
Well, if the committee supports banning gas leaf blowers, put it in the recommended.
all we have to say is we support banning gas leaf blowers. We don't have to write the proposed ordinance that would ban glass.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I mean, some of these ordinances, you would have to write them, like the noise ordinance or, you know, I mean, I'm not sure that this committee is going to feel like it's enough just to say, we think you should, you know, do something about snow and ice.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a recommendation on language or how, you know, sort of a policy there. But here, the policy is banning leaf blowers. The rest is just details and language. And if this is something that this committee can recommend, I can draft the language for the city council when we get to it, if and when they get to it.
Okay, thank you.
If that's acceptable to the committee, that's fine with me. But you know, you're going to have a huge further study pile and a very small, actually drafted all the language pile, because you have just a couple more meetings. And you know, and I will say, just to jump the shark here a little bit, if you're looking to me to draft this report, I'm going to need time. And you know, this is not going to happen the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's going to have to be worked on, you know, in advance. So you don't have that many more meetings, and that's, I'll leave it there.
Thank you.
But we are allowed to be less than legally specific about our recommendations.
You're just making recommendations, and you're recommending that the city ban gas leaf blowers.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
It doesn't have to be complicated, because I don't think that the charter envisioned, you know, a committee sitting down and writing ordinances. That's not really something you would do in a committee. You're making recommendations for changes, additions to, subtractions from. So I hope that's helpful.
It's very helpful, yeah. I'm wondering how, I would feel comfortable just making a vote to recommend that, if people feel comfortable with that. Councilor Perry? As the vice chair, does you feel good about
Yes,
that?
I feel comfortable with that.
Yes, so I will make the motion that the committee recommends banning gas-powered leaf blowers in
I'll
the
second
city.
that.
Right, but we're not doing individual motions, right? We're
Well, no, I think
we
we are in this case. I think
Okay.
I think we should.
I would second that motion. Yeah, yep. Oh, so I'm the chair also, so sorry. Motion made by Councilor Moulton to ban gas-powered leaf blowers, seconded by me. Laura, roll call, please.
Sure. Counselor Dove,
Yes.
Counselor Perry,
Yes.
Counselor Moulton,
Yes.
Member Cutler,
Yes.
and Member Moses.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that passes unanimously. We got our first recommendation. Okay. Well, moving on to the next one. amend the ordinance, this was made, by Benjamin Spencer, for the ordinance 120-1, consumption and possession of open containers in certain city facilities and locations, to amend the ordinance to allow issuance of License Commission special license to consumer alcohol in Pulaski Park.
I think that's meant to be consume alcohol in Pulaski
Oh,
Park.
consumed, license to consume alcohol in
Whoops,
Pulaski.
yes.
Okay, I personally don't know enough about this subject to have a strong opinion one way or the other. So I'd like, maybe if someone else could chime in. Molly, did you have
Oh,
your hand up? I thought you had your
I
hand up, sorry.
I didn't, but I do have some unfinished feelings about it. I do have I have a personal bias to not increase the ease of, like, I'm a therapist. I have a personal bias against increasing the ease of consumption of alcohol. Although consuming alcohol in public settings is arguably better than forcing people into self-isolating environments in order to consume alcohol. So I think maybe I'll recuse myself on this one unless I hear something that someone else says that brings me in a particular direction.
Councilor Perry?
I think that without Benjamin here, I don't want to speak for him. I feel like this and the other suggestion he had with food trucks are kind of the vision is to have events in public parks, like a Taste of Northampton style thing. So with that being said, I think we should note it. I don't think there needs to be any real further action on that for me. So.
Okay. Anyone else have thoughts on that? Okay.
Would that
So,
go into further study? So what happens to that?
yeah,
Or-
that's what I was wondering too.
I think that, oh, sorry if I can speak.
Of course.
I believe that hopefully we're not gonna send everything for further study. But I thought the part of it was having this main list so that people could see so there's a record of suggestions.
Yeah.
So maybe an addendum to our final report.
Yes, nice use of the word addendum.
These were the things that were suggested that we decided not to take up or recommend for further study.
At this time.
We're not saying they're bad ideas. We're just saying we don't think it's worth it at this moment.
Well, this connects with I hope I hope to have a discussion about food trucks in general. So I'm not at this point, I'm not prepared to say that this is not being recommended for further study. I just want to have it as part of the discussion about a follow-up discussion on what we heard last week.
Food trucks generally can't serve booze, Stan. Not part of the same discussion.
Well, no, I'm looking at his change to allow food trucks in Pulaski Park.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were
and
still
that
on alcohol.
and that was I mean, that is part of a larger discussion about what we heard last week on food trucks.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Stand corrected.
But
So in terms of the first suggestion from Benjamin Spencer, is that for further study? Is that how people feel? Or Council Perry?
I would say, yeah, we could put it in there. I mean, we don't have to, it feels like they go hand in hand and I don't want to waste too much time going into the nitty gritty for it. So if that's acceptable. I'll put it in further study.
Okay.
You know me, I'll talk about that.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we have another recommended for removal here. No person shall post or affix or cause to be posted or affixed upon any tree, stone, telegraph, telephone. I don't know if I have to read the whole thing, but how do you guys feel about this one?
I would like to recommend this for removal because I'm a punk who really likes bulletin boards, especially on lampposts. I like to read things while I'm waiting for the light to change.
does it take away the punkitude if it's legal?
No, Because
Okay.
honestly, have you seen the flyers people post in this town? They're entertaining as all get out.
Solicitor Sewell, your opinion on this?
Oh, I think,
I don't know if I can be seen or not.
Yep, you're
Yeah, we
seeing.
can see
Okay. So I would I would see a great deal of opposition to allowing people to plaster our city with whatever they want to plaster with, even more than they do now. I haven't, I have no specific opinion on it other than, city property is city property. And once you open it up and say you can post, be ready for the Nazis and, and everybody else. Once you open up that public forum, it's open to everyone.
Yes, it's a venue that then you can't regulate via content. And some of it is not city property. I mean, utility poles are not.
Well, they're within the public way.
Well,
And
but they're owned by utility.
Yeah,
True.
but if they're not under our jurisdiction, why bother having an ordinance about it anyway? We say utility poles in the ordinance.
some utility poles are owned. There are poles owned by the city that are posted. There are poles owned by utilities that are posted. But the question is, what do we want in our city? It's a policy decision, but once you open it up and specifically allow it, just you can't regulate content, and so you're opening it up to everybody, and that's my concern.
Council
The
Perry.
same,
Oh, sorry.
the same as like the flagpole in front of Memorial Hall. We do not let people, fly flags for any cause other than something that is part of a mayoral proclamation for this very reason. And this happened in Boston at City Hall, where they had a flagpole where they let anybody fly whatever they wanted. And, then the anti-abortions were flying and, they had to stop the policy because what's coming next. And, that went to the Supreme Court. So I would just be careful, very careful about things like this.
Yeah, thank you. Council Perry?
I'm in agreement as a person who has punkish tendencies and has also put up many a poster or flyer for events I have thrown or am playing. I think it opens us up to a lot of stuff we might not want. Also, in looking at this ordinance, there's talk about protecting the trees and stones and other nature stuff. I don't want people spray painting on rocks or in the park or carving names into trees. So I would not recommend this for removal.
Molly?
From a practical standpoint, if posting were to be allowed, there would be the question of when and how and by whom things would get removed. Otherwise, it almost becomes litter, whether it's like falling onto the street or just layers and layers and layers. Aside from the speech aspect, I'm wondering how do we reconcile this with, for example, and I know that we can't regulate content. Like if someone puts up a lost cat paper, can anyone like creatively think of a way that something like a lost cat announcement with picture could be supported? Or do we just say that some things are like letter of the law, spirit of the law?
Solicitor Sewell?
May I suggest that there is a measure of discretion in enforcing ordinances, and I haven't seen too much enforcement around lost cat flyers, but so this feels like it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing.
Counselor Moulton.
I agree, except that I would, the only thing I would remove from this is the last clause. Except upon permit of the Board of Public Works, which no longer exists.
I would totally agree with that.
Excellent point. Thank you.
Is there someone else that would be except upon permit of so-and-so?
DPW?
Unless you are going to specify all of the criteria that are going to be applied to determine whether to issue the permit or not, then there's no permit, because then it's just arbitrary and capricious. And guess what ends up happening? You know, things you don't like on your posted is a no, and you know, somebody in favor gets a yes, and that's the risk. So no permits.
Do we have telegraph poles? That's one way we could update.
I'm not sure the answer to that. Sorry. Anybody else know? Laura?
I think we have a list of general ordinances, housekeeping changes that are being recommended,
Okay.
including the one about the animal, I can't even, the wild animal and then person in charge. And I think the gender neutral was on, would that be an appropriate place if we did want to strike? Because it's clearly a housekeeping change. It's just a legacy. It shouldn't be there. Shouldn't have been removed when the Board of Public Works went away. Is there any interest in adding it to the general ordinance housekeeping
Yes.
changes?
Yes, yeah, that sounds good to me.
I've been sold out of anarchy. I no longer recommend striking it entirely. I'm good with it being a
Oh.
housekeeping thing.
Thank you, Dane.
Listen, I keep an open mind.
That's good.
We'll still cause some chaos somehow. Good trouble.
And we'll trust the DPW's discretion.
Okay. And do we need take a vote on that, or are we, in terms of like taking out that language? We'll just make housekeeping. Right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
And so for the housekeeping, just to make sure we captured it, it's the telegraph word and the final phrase of except upon permit.
Oh, okay, telegraph. Oh, okay. So we decided to also remove the word telegraph? Okay.
Yes, because it does say or other pole poster structure. So if someone's like, oh, I found an exception, it's a telegraph pole, it's still included.
Yeah. Okay. Do you mind sharing the screen again?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Then there was recommended for removal, which was the obscene or profane language in streets prohibited. I think we talked about that being maybe kind of out of date. I'm not sure, but does that open us up to anything bad?
That feels like an Alan Seawald question.
Yes, I think yes. Solicitor Seawald?
Well, we are lessening restrictions on speech. And I'm not sure we know what the definition of those things are, so not troubled by it.
And I would argue that if somebody was using, let's say, racial epithets, right, and the cops wanted an excuse to haul them off and be like, knock it off, you know, they'd have third-degree assault for that.
Absolutely will not happen. It will not happen.
Is there
Fair enough.
around harassing language or harassment that is not?
You know, there are all these criminal laws about this. You know, one other word of caution, somebody has to enforce all these things. And so, you know, it's difficult to be put in a position of on the fly determining that there's harassment. People have recourse through criminal process for harassment.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
I'm good striking it.
me too. Should we make a motion to strike it?
Recommend to strike.
If we have hate speech laws anyway, regardless of enforcement, it's not like they'll get more or less enforced because there's also an ordinance.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Um, okay, Dane, did you make the motion? Is that correct?
Yep. Motion to do the thing it says to do, to strike it.
Okay,
So wait a minute, you're not striking it from the list of, this is the list of miscellaneous referrals, everything you've received. You're not striking it from that list. What are you voting to recommend for
Voting
removal?
to-
I am voting that we move it to our list of recommendations
for removal.
for removal.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
Oh, yes, of course. Any
I just
motion
didn't know
made?
if you want me to do a roll call.
Sorry, yes, before we do the roll call, does anybody else have any thoughts? Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, Counselor Dobbs,
Yes.
Counselor Perry,
Yes.
Counselor Moulton,
yes,
Counselor Cutler,
Yes.
and I mean, Member Cutler and Member Moses.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, that passes unanimously. And the next item, if you don't mind sharing, Laura.
Sure, sorry.
That's okay, no.
I can't see anybody's face when I'm sharing, so if I'm going to raise my hand or something, I feel like I have to stop sharing.
Oh, I see it, gotcha, yeah.
One
Well,
second.
I'm looking at this also, so Martin, so it looks like this was a suggestion made by Amy Martin for, oh, this is about the removal of snow and ice, which we are working on that one, so we can,
You know,
yep, go
and I
ahead.
just want, I'm wondering if we should have a fourth category of recommended for removal, recommended for adoption, not recommended for adoption. I don't know, or should that just be in the bucket of recommend for adoption, but it's adopting a removal? I don't know. I'm just wondering if
I mean, we have one bucket for specific recommendations,
Okay,
whether
so
it's amendment, removal, new, those are, I mean, that should go in the same bucket.
thank you for clarifying. I thought it was recommended for adoption. So, okay, thank you.
Gotcha, thank you both.
Recommendations
Yeah.
generally. Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. Molly?
I'm sorry to add into business just because we were looking at 31285, the pedestrian crossings and use of roadways. I saw on my screen the tweet 31284, traffic control signal legend for pedestrians.
Oh, you're right, that isn't the same, right? Yeah, sorry.
It's not the same, and I just see it's like red and yellow, or the word walk, red alone, or don't walk, etc., etc. And I know that in Northampton we tend to have more of the images of the person, and so that just feels like a housekeeping, bring that in alignment with our current traffic control signals.
Okay,
So that's 31284.
That's not on this list, is it? Are we talking about something?
It's not on the list. It just crossed my vision because we were
Okay.
looking at the next one down. So just, wow, don't want to miss it because it's there. It just seems like an update necessary potentially.
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was searching the list, so I missed what the specific update was to it.
So 31284. It's called Traffic Control Signal Legend for Pedestrians.
Yeah.
It just needs to be updated to our current traffic signal for West pedestrians, just what the actual images and colors we use are.
Oh, goodness. Is it possible to send me whatever that
Absolutely.
because I'm not sure, are you amending ABC different sections of this? Or
I
is it
think
one?
I just think someone who actually knows the traffic signals just needs to review it to make sure it's updated.
Okay.
Just because we have images sometimes without the words walk or don't walk. And this seems to say that we're talking about specifically the word walk.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Sorry to throw it in there. Just
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how.
yeah, it's housekeeping. I'm happy to just write a quick email to you drafting like what the housekeeping is.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Molly.
For sure.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Oh,
I think I'm sorry. I
No,
think
that's
I
okay.
stopped sharing accidentally. Oh, goodness. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so we were, oh, yeah, there you go. Scrolling down. So, Amy Martin had a suggestion about for the snow removal ordinance. She thinks a PR campaign is needed to change social norms. Yeah, so we will be discussing that in much greater detail in our final report. So I feel like if it's okay with everybody else, we could move to the next one. That sound good? We got here enforcing leash laws from Jesse Lynn. Um, let's see. I actually do have a recollection because Jessie Lynn she moved recently, but she was a Ward 4 constituent who talked to me about leash laws and thinking that they need better enforcement. Other than that, though, I don't know. That was just a brief conversation I had with her, so I don't know what she was looking for. Laura, you have your hand up?
And she wasn't recommending any changes to the ordinance. I think I forwarded her email to the mayor's office since was an enforcement request suggestion.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, as I recall, you are correct that she didn't have any ordinance change suggestions. Just that.
She thought the ordinance was good.
Okay, she did. Okay, well that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, well yeah. So we could probably move to the next one then, for outdoor lighting, which we are also talking about in greater detail in future discussions for our report. Make compliance requirement retroactive, enforce lights off time, proactively enforce through routine inspections rather than reliance on resident complaints. Okay. Anybody have any thoughts before we move to the next one?
No, only to echo what you just said, that we're going to be discussing the list of recommended changes that came to us last week with Director Mish's response, and I think these probably should be discussed at the same time.
Agreed. Okay, and the next one was recommendation from Jonathan Levin on MGL Chapter 90, Section 16A, in support of local ordinance against idling.
So Solicitor Seawald, does it make sense to have a local ordinance when there already is a state law which would supersede the local ordinance?
Give me 1 second. I just put it on the screen. No, there's this is not a statute that asks for cities and towns to regulate locally. There is a There is a statute about idling, and this sounds to me like an enforcement issue,
Mhm.
not a new ordinance issue.
I agree, having received many complaints about the lack of enforcement of the existing state law.
Great, thank you. Does everybody else seem to be in agreement with that?
I'm sorry, I missed the thing that we're agreeing to.
Just that, there's already a state law for idling, and basically that this would not be an ordinance change,
Okay,
right? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
great, thank you.
Yep, thank you. And then the last one is a suggestion for a comprehensive comprehensive ordinance update to regulate the use of e-bikes, not only on multi-use trails, but on city streets.
And I know that this has gone to Transportation and Parking Commission's Subcommittee on Bicycles and Pedestrians, and yesterday's TPC meeting, someone said that it's under discussion by that subcommittee. So that's where that landed.
Well, that's good to hear. That is a subject that interests me, so I'm interested to hear how that goes. So good to hear. Thank you for that, Counselor. All right. Well, that looks like we got to the end of our list.
Do we
that was-
also have a list of comments people made at the public comment meeting or at the meetings?
Only in the form of the minutes themselves, so. yeah.
And this is where many of the environmental concerns were raised that Molly wants to make sure that we've
Right.
considered.
So I don't
Can
know
you
if that's-
can you screen share the minutes, Laura?
Sure, 1 second. Let's see. Go through these one by one, or get down to the environmental ones, the Thomas Newfer.
There it is.
Sorry, is there a reason we're starting there?
Oh, I'm just looking for direction as to where to start.
I think just going, like, just making sure, like, sort of check, have we noticed this, or?
Sure.
Alright.
Okay. So
Yes.
starting.
First one, yes, we have done and we are discussing.
Looks like we are also discussing this next one,
Uh-huh.
which has multiple suggestions.
Sorry, I just wanted to catch that last paragraph of what Ace was saying. Oh, the toplessness in public.
Yes, that's right. I do remember that now.
Further study? I don't know that we have the time to address it today.
I'd be okay with putting that in further study. How do other people feel? Council Perry?
Either further study or, or just in the addendum, and just things that to be noted if someone else wants to pick it up. I don't want to overload that bucket, as Solicitor Sewell said, of things to further study, to feel like you have to, but I do want people to know that they're heard. So I don't know, wherever you guys want to put it, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. Further study, does that sound good to people? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so Meg Robbins she brought to our attention the issues at Tallis and Satellite Bar, the noise issues on the weekends, and that was addressed both Councilor Perry and I wrote letters to the Northampton License Commission, and there was a meeting at the Northampton License Commission after that to have the discussion about TELUS, and although the issue hasn't been resolved, there is now an open dialogue happening with TELUS and the License Commission on ways to mitigate the noise that happens on the weekend. So it's being worked on. Okay. We have Donnie McCons says she would like to ask them to take a look at speed limits in the city.
Yes, and Laura, you sent an email related to this about meetings that Council President Jared and Jim Nash, I think were. Can you remind us about that exchange, please?
I can remind you because I was also there.
Okay, thank you.
At least the first meeting, I missed there was a follow-up, but there have been meetings about it, and there's a continued discussion. So this for me falls under parking and transportation, and someone's looking at it.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Another one from, now we're at the Thomas Newfers. Said he would like to follow up on his comment by sending an email.
And I think that's in the miscellaneous referrals spreadsheet, his email.
Okay.
See.
Thinks that ordinance is already in place, but it could be bolstered in terms of designating Northampton as a sanctuary city, safe community. And then he also had suggestions when it comes to climate and environmental ordinances, such as Metropolitan Area Planning Council checklist for low impact development codes. Do people feel like this is further study, or Molly, I think you were talking about environmental concerns being part of something that you're working on. Is that correct? Or am I confused?
I haven't worked on any.
Okay,
I was just
sorry.
advocating for us to make sure to attend to them.
Gotcha. Yes, that's kind of what I meant. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, for this one, for Thomas Newfers, are we talking about the one that's currently on the share screen? Sorry, I had to step away for a moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I certainly think this is worth following up on. I don't know what our current capacity is to know, but I think if we are to if we were to put this in further study, I would hope we could say that Thomas Newfer proposed Greenfield's ordinance as ordinance language as a suggestion.
Councilor Perry?
I also think that we could say in our report, sort of suggesting that for future councils look at the addendum to identify things that could be for further study, because there's a lot of things he's got in here. There's the sanctuary city stuff he's talking about. There's some climate, environmental ordinances.
We could also say that we just think these are good ideas, but
I would, well, in terms of the sanctuary city, I'm not familiar with the Greenfield ordinance. I don't know how it compares with the Northampton ordinance. I mean, unless any other members of this committee have looked at that, I would simply list it in the addendum as a suggestion that was made. And if any, further in the future, if any further future city council or city individual councilors want to take this up, it's listed as among the suggestions that were made to us.
I think my only question there is how, given the current climate, how urgently do we think this needs to be considered? Because if it,
I have no idea because I don't know what the Greenfield ordinance, how it compares with ours.
so for example, the stipulation that city officials are not permitted to inquire as to immigration status unless required prevents storing data related to immigration status unless required. I don't know if that runs up against other pieces where services are being provided based on immigration status. I don't know if we have services of that sort.
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing Molly.
Mm.
I don't know if there's anything to do to increase the volume. Is anyone else having trouble, or is that just me?
You're getting a little quiet.
Me too? Oh,
No,
goodness.
not you. Molly is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe because I'm slightly unsure how to proceed.
That's fine.
Yes.
I
Um,
don't think I just did a keyword search for sanctuary and nothing pops up except
It's called-
wildlife sanctuaries.
It's called Safe City.
Safe City. Thank you.
And let me, I think it's important that I be clear about this. This is just a policy and the implementation is the mayor. So the mayor gives specific direction to the police department. So our ordinance says that city resources shall not be used to determine the immigration status of a person unless such inquiry is required by state or federal law, or
Right.
to provide a public benefit, to take action on the basis of actual or perceived immigration status, to neither detain or delay the release of an individual. It's basically all there.
It actually does. Yes, sorry to interrupt.
So and and we clearly do not honor detainer requests, which are requests to hold people after they're eligible for release so that the feds can come and pick them up. We don't honor those. So I just wanted to know that most, if not all, of what he's asking for is there already. But understand that it is the mayor who gives specific direction on how all this happens.
great, thank you.
Then perhaps this, we can include it as an addendum. For me, it does feel like our language is robust.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. Do people feel like we can move on to the next one? Okay. This is, I'm sorry, who is this next one from?
This is still Thomas Newfer.
Oh, it's still him, okay. So he mentions gas powered landscaping, which we talked about. Contracts with the city to seek to eliminate peat products. He's concerned about seeing green spaces where neighbors are sleeping in tents. I don't know. How are people feeling about some of these?
It's okay to say that we see and we heard, and we are not pursuing any changes in that direction at this time.
Yeah, I would. That sounds good to me. Okay. Then there was regulations could be introduced to help protect Northampton's ecosystem from invasive species. All right. So are we moving on to the next one?
There
Or
was right above that, Councillor Dubs, I'm seeing around posted notice where pesticides or herbicides are regularly applied on city stewarded property.
yes. And how do you feel about that? Or should that be like?
Solicitor Seawald, is there any issues with having that signage? I don't know that it's actually going to change people's behavior, but it does feel like a appropriate acknowledgement. And who knows, maybe in the future, if there's signage wherever pesticides and herbicides are being used, people might have feelings about it and ask for change on the cities. So I think greater public awareness could be good.
Do you think maybe further study for this one? Or is that what you were thinking, or maybe, or,
I would just go for posted notice. Like, I'm in support.
okay,
I would also support posted notice where pesticides are being sprayed.
Are you going to designate who should enforce this?
Yeah,
Who should
I-
enforce the putting up of the signs, you mean?
Yeah,
If
I
the
mean,
city,
how is this going to be enforced?
I thought it's the city themselves who are doing this spraying. I think.
Oh, this is just,
Yeah, this is not for
Okay.
like Joe Schmo spraying his lawn. This is for like when the city is spraying up something that people might camp on.
Oh, it does say in his comment also the utilities or other property owners, but I think we could at minimum say that city. But Councilor
Right.
Perry
Captain
is-
Prairie, thank you, yeah, sorry.
I want to remind us that I thought we had a system of trying to refer this to other bodies. For me, this feels like energy and sustainability, so they can have a robust discussion of how, like, we don't have to solve all the problems. Part of what I thought was we would send them to people. This feels like a discussion. Because I do remember a couple years ago, there was a discussion about putting up signs and pesticides. So I personally wouldn't feel comfortable trying to draft some language or make some decisions without talking to those people.
I would be good referring it to energy.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I don't understand how it's energy related, but that could be my limited understanding of the department.
Energy and sustainability.
Okay.
I don't think this committee gets to refer things to committees. I mean, either you're recommending it and then it's going to go through the city council process and they'll send it to whatever committees they're going to send it to. But I don't think that this committee gets to refer to committees.
Poor Alan.
Mhm.
How much time do you spend sitting here wishing you could slap your forehead going, you guys, you can't do that.
So could we say
That's
that
what I'm here for.
could we say that we recommend it pending approval by the committee in conversation with the council? Something like that?
The council is gonna do with it
I'll do with
what
it.
it will. And it'll send it to whatever committee it will, or it may do nothing at all. I mean, let me just say that this is my third time through this, and the city council has never been bashful about ignoring the recommendations of the ordinance committee. It's not like they're gonna take up everything that, that we sprinkle holy water on here. They're not gonna take everything up. There's just, it's just not gonna happen that way, or at least it hasn't happened that way in the past.
I needed that, thank you.
Okay, so what are we thinking for this one? Further study?
Sure.
Okay,
We know what I think. I'll just get some water.
sorry, Molly, yeah, I know,
It's
yeah.
fine, it's fine.
Okay, the next one was about invasive, protecting Northampton's ecosystem from invasive species. Again, like I don't know enough about the subject, so maybe I feel like further study is the right category for it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Yep.
and then, okay, yeah, so that was the last one, basically, right? Yeah, for that person. Okay. And then the next one is request that language around snow plowing and sidewalks get clarified, better enforced. Okay, so we know that was about snow removal, so that's being discussed. Anything else? I also recommend adopting a set of proposals around heat, including protection and contracts for city workers around heat safety. Cities like Boston require access to shade or water for people contracted by the city. Anyone know anything about that? Or have an opinion? Also, leases are currently allowed to prohibit air conditioning, and there is no requirement that nursing homes have AC. City ordinances to address this would help a lot of people stay safe in the heat. Okay, further study? Maybe?
Further study.
Okay,
It's, I wonder whether, yeah, like OSHA, I wonder if there's anything in there that already relates, but probably not.
yeah. Okay. Further, this sounds good to me, further study. Laura, sorry, I didn't see your hand, yeah.
Nursing homes highly regulated by another entity at the state level? Just, is that something that the local ordinance would even be able to regulate? The nursing homes specifically having AC?
I'm not sure. Counselor, or sorry, Solicitor Sewell.
The way we've dealt with this, and I can give you the example of moving to electric heat pumps, and we started out by giving like zoning benefits for those who use it, sort of incentive based promotion. But the city can't regulate, at least through zoning, that which is regulated by the building code. And so, this is a question about whether we can supplement the building code to require this.
Molly?
I do think that I see in the, I found a document on mass.gov for standards for long-term care facilities. I don't know whether nursing homes is by necessity that, but there do seem to be I wonder when this, that as of 2000, every facility should provide air conditioning in dining rooms, activity rooms, day rooms, etc., equivalent common resident areas. And that capable of maintaining a maximum temperature of 75 degrees. Temperatures must be maintained at a level which ensures the comfort and health of residents of the facility. So if nursing homes is included in the definition of long-term care, then we do seem to have protection at the state level. Yep,
Great.
Nursing homes is within the definition of long-term care facility.
Thank you, Molly.
Mm-hmm. I'll send, I'm going to send that document over to Laura Kurtzler just in case the person who sent us that recommendation ever follows up and says, hey, did you look at such and such?
Okay.
Thanks.
So, is there a category that we're sending this one to, or are we just kind of moving on? Or, sorry, I'm a little confused about this one. Just move on from it?
I guess the leases being allowed to prohibit air conditioning is a separate matter that doesn't cover.
I don't.
Okay. All right, well,
That I don't think we could do.
Yeah.
I don't think we can require, it's a civil relationship between a landlord and a tenant, and I don't think that we could require air conditioning for every landlord. Or at least require landlords not prohibit air conditioning.
okay. So, basically, we just have no recommendations for this one, or nothing. Gotcha, okay. Colin Hoffmeister, Ward 3, reference to press release, which stated that Mayor Scher recognized the importance of transparency, ensuring that accurate information is readily available. Ordinance to increase transparency and ensure residents' right to know when zoning changes affect their property. Any thoughts on this one?
Just for people where it's a lot to skim, the actionable piece is the last visible
Yes.
paragraph.
His request is to amend 350.3.5 to require written notification up to abutters of any upcoming hearings concerning rezoning. This will be consistent with the approach used by towns such as South Hadley. This notification must include clear identification of the parcel numbers and the street.
Sounds good to me.
So Solicitor Seawall, what is the current requirement?
So what we do is what is required under state law. So Chapter 48 of the Zoning Act specifies how zoning amendments are done. We can increase notice if we wanted to. For instance, we, as a matter of policy, put those yellow signs when there's going to be a public hearing. We put them outside the property so that people nearby will see the sign saying there's a hearing coming up on this property. That's not required by state law. We do that just to be more transparent and get the word out more than is required by state law. And we can do that here too. It's easy when a single parcel is being rezoned, and I don't know whether this individual was motivated by the rezoning down on Phillips Place and that whole thing. And that was simple. That was a single parcel that was being rezoned. We know exactly what where all the abutters are, and there are just a few of them. But when you start rezoning whole sections of the city, and now you're going to have to give notice to the abutter of every parcel in a large area, that's when it becomes more difficult. Not impossible, but more difficult.
Thank you. Any thoughts, any more thoughts on this?
I think, oh, am I on? I would say perhaps further study, because I'm intrigued to hear what Director Mish has to say, as well as planning board and stuff.
Yeah. I agree with that. Your further study sounds good to me. Okay.
And I unfortunately have to start packing up. I have to go to a youth commission meeting. I think I told you guys before. I leave early, but thank you for continuing the work, and I'll just check the notes. And
Of course, yeah, and I can update you if, with anything else. Yes, awesome.
And hopefully the people who know you well will be able to say, I think that Councillor Perry would have a thought on this.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Councilor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Garrett.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Laura. I wasn't sure if you were waving goodbye.
I'm raising my hand. Yeah, and just for reference, this topic of expansion of the notification under that 353.5 was discussed extensively in the 2020 ordinance review committee process, and it was really advocated for by Jim Nash. And at the time, I think the motivation was, it might have been the rezoning of lots. There was like 9 lots along Conn Street, and he heard from a lot of constituents that they didn't receive notice, even though they did end up hearing about it and showing up at the public hearing. But he did refer it to the planning board at that time. And I can't remember what the recommendation was, but just so you know that this is something that has come up before in discussion under ordinance review. So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and at that time, he really strongly championed it and, pushed, there was much greater discussion of it, just so,
Okay, good. So it sounds like it'll be good to,
history.
yeah.
Stop sharing.
Okay. This looks like it's another second. There was a second recommendation there. at the end for
Oh,
environment.
okay, yep, there we
Solar,
go.
solar protection ordinance, solar rights. Sorry, I lost it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Here, okay, here we go. No, I've
Almost.
lost my place, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay,
that's
just-
fine.
here it is.
So yeah, so solar rights for homeowners to ensure that the right to solar power not be blocked by future development. Massachusetts encourages residents to convert to solar power. He's doing that and has invested heavily, and now this development may cost him tens of thousands of dollars.
Know that we can restrict the height of buildings aside from what's already in zoning ordinances. That to me raises my like proto lawyerly instincts.
Yeah. Solicitor Seawald, looks like you.
Yes, so if a landowner wants to protect the access to light, he has to get an easement. And, you know, we don't own that area, and we can't really prohibit somebody from putting up a building that's within our zoning simply because somebody else on another lot, you know, might be in a shadow. You know, that has to be dealt with by how high the buildings are. And as far as trees go, I don't know that we can control trees on lot A to protect lot B. That's an issue between the two parties. You know, we could always reduce the height of buildings allowed, but you know, protecting everyone's individual right to solar is tantamount to giving them an easement.
Gotcha. So basically, we're not really interested in this one.
Well, I
Or,
mean,
sorry.
we're interested, but it's beyond our purview. So this is
Exactly.
not recommended.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. All right. Randy Solar proposed 2 ordinances to require temporary pedestrian access route planning for work areas that substantially block sidewalks. There are places where sidewalks are blocked and folks that are able-bodied are forced to walk on the street. He thinks they need written plans, particularly with the upcoming work on Main Street. He thinks there are a lot of places where the sidewalk is temporarily blocked by people working on something. And the second recommendation would be a ban over time on the use of gas, which we just talked about that one. So basically, this one is we're just looking at to require temporary pedestrian access route planning areas that substantially block sidewalks. That interests me. I don't know a lot about that, but if there are areas where the sidewalks are being blocked, I would find that problematic. So maybe further study. If that sounds good to other people, unless.
I can do further study for that, yeah.
Yep, I would be straight up in support, but I think further study I feel fine with that.
Right, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like once there is further study, I feel like I will be in support of that. Yes.
So how much do we want to sway the council to say, please do look at this? I think
Maybe maybe that's the question. Maybe for when we get to our final report, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Or how do you guys feel? Or anyone else?
Well,
Councilman.
I mean, we can use whatever language we want in terms of strongly, urgently, but the best way to sway the future council is that the chair of this committee is continuing on the future council, and I'm sure will be an advocate for this.
Good point.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, I will be. Thank you, Counselor. Okay. This next one I actually do have an update on. Aaron Murray, faculty member in the Occupational Therapy Department, recommends accessible parking to change the word handicap to reserved. So I don't have a lot of updates yet, but I have been in continued conversation with Aaron Murray. Like I've talked to her since she came to our public forum, and I'm working on like finding out like kind of where the city is at on this, because I know that at one point our ADA coordinator Keith Benoit was working on this, like about changing the word handicap to reserved, and I know that there are some places where he did change that word But I think that's kind of like an ongoing project, and so I'm kind of, I basically, I'm in conversations with Erin Murray still about that, so I feel like we could move on from that, and I'll be continuing to talk to her.
Yeah, I would say leave it off the list.
Okay, great. Okay, moving on. Dan Brindell, okay. Repeal of the form-based code. Giant omnibus ordinance passed in the very first days. Doesn't think it was adequately reviewed. And its function is the kind of upzoning that he and his neighbors have been dealing with. Sorry, I'm just reading this to myself also. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, we're all reading it. I mean, I don't know if I have a strong opinion on this one. Does anybody have any thoughts? Councilor Moulton?
Well, yes, I have a strong opinion overall, but I want to say, because I didn't get a chance to say it at a meeting that was subsequent to this. This is June 30th, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Dan Brindell conflated something that Council President Jarrett had said at a June City Council meeting. It was not in reference to the form-based code. It was in reference to Community Preservation Act money that had been approved. So please disregard that paragraph. It's misinformation. But my strong opinion about this is I would not, certainly, after all the work that was done over years on this form-based code, I would not recommend its wholesale removal. It may require some tweaks, but certainly not rescindment.
I would agree with that. I mean, I'm comfortable with not recommending this and just moving on from it. Okay, great. Thank you, Dan.
Very
Thumbs up. All right.
Can we still put it in the list of people brought such and such up? Because I do think there are some environmental concerns mixed in here, and I do want to make a note, and maybe even including just the language from the minutes, so that people know these were the concerns that came up related to this.
That works for me.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, we could attach the minutes of this meeting, because the June 30th meeting was designed to capture public sentiment on anything, really. We could attach the minutes to the report, the final report.
I like that idea.
Right.
Okay, great. So is this Gwen Nabad? This is where we're at now on the last one. Okay. Excessive light in the back of buildings, which he understands are owned by the state. I imagine this is probably part of our lighting outdoor part, or not? Actually, no. That's, or is this part of our outdoor lighting conversation? Have we talked about this yet? Or no? Maybe not. Oh, and the other issue people have experienced is the loudness of the train. Okay.
Well, I can say that having received complaints about the train, the city has no jurisdiction over
Okay.
Amtrak or the railroad lines that operate throughout the city.
Noted and filed. Somebody said it. We acknowledge that it was said and heard.
Should we say that for both points that she makes here, or?
Well, no.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
referring
okay.
to the noise of the train.
Gotcha. And so maybe for the excessive light, is that for further study, or do you think that's part of our lighting discussion? Anybody can chime in.
I'm not exactly sure there what Gwen is referring to along King Street.
Okay, yeah, you're Ward 1, so you would,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. But we can. I mean, I can ask Gwen for more information about that.
Okay, that sounds good. Alan Sewell?
Is there an ordinance that she's suggesting be amended? This sounds more like an enforcement issue as well, as to the light. Um, if it complies with the ordinance, it complies with the ordinance. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you know, but I think that isn't outdoor lighting going to be coming up at some point?
Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
is. But
So
what I'm saying is I actually don't remember Gwen's statement at that June 30th meeting. So I'll have to ask her for more specifics about what she's referring to.
good enough.
Great, thank you, Council Moulton. Okay. So it sounds like we have finished our list, which is great. We can move on to our next agenda item, which is to discuss the structure and format of the final report. And I know Laura, you had called me and we talked about talking about the possibility of Solicitor Seawald writing the final report, which had never even occurred to me before. But now it's part of the discussion. I feel like we should talk about that, like who's going to write the report. Sorry, who wants to chime in? I don't. Laura, did you want to? Or no, sorry.
Oh, well, I
Go
just
for
was
it.
aware that he had written it last year, so I think I mentioned that.
Yes,
But,
yes, you mentioned that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I think I
certainly not.
wrote the last two.
Okay.
Mistaken.
It's funny. I just never knew that, and so I was always assuming that we were going to be
But-
the ones writing it. But
but
yeah.
I have no pride of authorship, and if anybody else wants to, run with that, it's not necessary that I do it, but I'm willing to. With one caveat, you have some very large issues to talk about that you said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that," and you don't have a lot of talking time left. And if I'm going to be writing this, you've got maybe one meeting left, two tops, to talk about all the things you want to talk about.
Okay.
So
And is there any kind of discussion that can happen outside of, probably not like this is all public, right? So yeah, so we got to get it done at these meetings.
yes,
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. And okay, so anybody have opinions at the moment in terms of where we are in the conversation right now? Like who we want to, do we want Solicitor Seawald to write the final report? I guess is the question.
and don't forget, you're also going to need a meeting to review and revise and approve the final report. So
Gotcha. Yeah, there's not a lot of time. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
With the holiday coming up, next week is pretty much taken up with the holiday.
Gotcha. Well, I would feel comfortable with you doing the final report. I think that could be a helpful, because you've been like listening to all of us this entire time, hearing everybody's points of view. I feel like that there's a benefit to you being the person.
With the understanding that I'm not going to be, detailing everyone's point of view.
Gotcha.
The committee is going to take a vote, and it's going to be recommended and not recommended.
Okay.
Take a look at my earlier reports.
I will. I promise. Yeah, I'll do that.
And if those look like they're in decent form, I would use those. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I promise you.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm down for that.
Okay, Dane. Thank you.
I think Molly has a little glint in her eye. Though. Maybe I'll.
Yeah, Molly might have an opinion. No. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
like come back to me in 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Oh, no. In 5 years, you're going to be a lot busier than you are now.
That's true. Yeah, God willing. Yeah, so it sounds like a fun task and one that I am learning not to sign up for. And I there's no, I should focus on the things that are giving me hourly pay.
Yeah, and that's what committee service will teach you.
Mhm.
Don't sign up for things. So no, I'm happy to do it, but we really do have to, finalize things so that I can get it done and you have time to review it,
Great. Thank you so much.
approve it. Okay, great.
I would so much rather review and approve than write.
It takes a lot of the pressure off, yeah, definitely, from having to do all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I do enough writing in my real job.
Okay, so we should talk about like, yeah, how when we're gonna have these discussions on all of these matters that we have to discuss. I guess just starting with our next meeting, right?
Isn't our next meeting in a week?
No,
Yes, the 22nd. We didn't say
Not
as to.
Oh, no,
December
no, in
3rd.
2 weeks.
no.
Oh,
It's
December 3rd.
December 3rd is our next, and
Right.
our final
Right.
discussion meeting. And that's when all of these issues will be discussed to give Solicitor Seawall then time to write his report.
I just have to mention that, so this is the only conflict I'll have. On December 3rd, I am now on the Capital Planning Advisory Committee, and, those meetings aren't very long. I can't, it's hard to say how long they go. The last one was only like 20 minutes, but there's one on December 3rd at 6 o'clock. And so I'd be comfortable being late to that meeting if you guys are comfortable with that. But I don't want to cancel a meeting because we have such limited time. I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you want to let me know. Is it okay with you if I come late to that meeting? And Council Perry could be the chair while I'm not here?
One of the major topics to discuss is the snow and ice removal.
I know, yeah,
And you really need to be here for that.
okay.
I see the two big issues here is food trucks and snow and ice
Right. So,
and outdoor lighting, perhaps.
Is there-
Could we meet earlier on December 3rd?
I absolutely could do that, yes.
Molly, what about you?
Which time would it be? How early are we saying?
Well, I guess that's kind of up to what you're able to do. No pressure.
Give her a sec.
Likely I could certainly go for 5:30 if that makes any difference. And I can also show up late. We can just test the community.
Could we start at 5 maybe? And that way we could start with the snow discussion, and then maybe if I have to leave early, I can leave early.
Right,
Does that sound okay to you, Solicitor Seawall? No?
This is not my
Okay.
not my bailiwick. You guys figure out how you want to structure. That's fine.
I'm so
4:30 or 5, or I don't know.
Hang on.
If you start at 4 or 4:30, because I actually could be around for 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's actually that's fine by me. It just means I would have to excuse myself at 5. But I could even yes, I could actually stay probably until 5:30. I wasn't thinking about starting that early, but that could be possible.
I can do 4.
I can do 4.
We'll check with Garrick. Perry.
Yep.
Stan, can
Yep.
you do 4?
Yes, 4 o'clock's fine. So, Councilor Dubs, if you would just check with Councilor Perry and let him know that that's our plan.
I'll do that tonight, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you all for being understanding about that and flexible, because I was a little concerned about that. That's the only other conflict I'm gonna have before the end of the year, so.
Sounds good.
Okay,
So 4 o'clock, December 3rd.
Yep, sounds great to me.
Works for me.
Okay,
Very good.
all right, any other new business or thoughts we want to share before the meeting adjourns? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Hi, all.
Aye, Alan?
Councillor Dobbs,
Yes,
Councillor Moulton,
yes.
Member Cutler,
Yep.
and Member Moses.
Yes.
perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep, see you next week. Or 2 weeks.
2 weeks. See you in 2
2
weeks, everyone.
weeks,
Bye.
yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.